And hello, everybody, and welcome to the live broadcast for the Lanier Islands Legacy Golf Course CatRangers' third annual charity golf tournament. We are out here, and it is a dreary day, but that is not stopping the golfers for coming out and supporting a great cause. I am joined right now not only by Dan the Man, who is out here working on the audio for us in the rain, but also by Will Rigdon, who is with Atlanta Motor Speedway Park. Welcome, Will.
Hey, Amanda, how's it going?
Good to see you. I know that you're a friend of the CatRangers tournament. We see you year after year. Tell us a little bit about why you like to support the Meowsers.
Well, originally I got involved with CatRangers way back in the day when me and my wife first got together. She was a dog person. I was a no pet person because I was busy running around. And we decided to go ahead and just get cats. And we lived in Buford, and we just Googled, local cat charity. We're not about going to breeders. We like rescuing, and that was how we came across CatRangers. And we've just been helping them. They knew we were into marketing. We've helped them with some videos with their litter robots that they have. We helped them do some promotional work with that. Help get some more of the robots from Litter Robot. And
I have to just stop you right there and ask you to tell me what Litter Robots is.
So the litter robots are the automatic. If you hate scooping cat poop, that's the best tool in the world you can get is a litter robot. It looks like a big Death Star, and the cat goes in it, and it spins and it scoops it for you, and all you gotta do is change the trash bag once a week.
Hey, that's super easy.
Yeah, it's very convenient.
Well, I'm glad that you guys stumbled upon the organization. I know that they have many kitties for you guys to choose from, and I'm with you there in saying, don't go to breeders. Adopt, yes. Don't shop. That's what they say. More importantly, share a little bit with us about what Atlanta Motor Speedway Park does, because I've been here in years past, and there have been super cool cars, and I got to sit in one. So tell us what you guys do.
Yeah, so Atlanta Motorsports Park is located up in Dawsonville, Georgia. We're a motorsports country club, so it's kind of a new business model. If most people are used to the Atlanta Motor Speedway Road Atlanta model, where you just buy tickets, you go watch the race, you go home happy. We're kind of different. You come to the track to drive. You bring your own car, you drive on track. Or if you want to do go-karts, we have a whole fleet of rental carts, and you can come to our second track and actually drive go-karts. So it's a lot of fun. It's pretty much like what we are here, but instead of it being a golf course, it's a racetrack.
Now, I know you guys do a lot of corporate experiences, and share with us what that experience might look like for a large organization that might like to bring their team there for a building experience.
The sky's the limit in terms of what you can do with us. We start as low as the go-kart track. You can rent the place out. You can do groups as small as 5, 10 people. You can just come out and have a Grand Prix. Everybody gets on track, they race each other, they have a good time. If the go-karts are too small and too slow, we can take you up to the main track. We've got a radical racing experience where we can put you in a real downforce race car. Cars that have, the ability to go 140, 150 miles an hour out on track.
Wow. Talking
2.5, 3 Gs worth of cornering force. I mean, real race machines. And, and if that scares you, we also have a driving school, too. So if you want to come out, if you're scared to put your employees out there, you'd rather them learn how to be better drivers and not faster drivers. We actually do corporate training as well, because it's a full-on teen school, but, you don't have to be a teen to take it. Well, we have companies with grown adults come in and actually do driver training, for their fleet cars.
Very cool. So if I had a Ferrari and I wanted to honk down on it, then I could bring it to your track.
Yes, you could.
Sweet. I don't.
And you don't have to necessarily be a member to do it as well either, because I know we said we're a country club, so it's the base business model is you pay an introductory fee, you pay a monthly fee, and then you can basically bring your car out and drive whenever you want to drive. But, if you're kind of timid and you don't necessarily know if this is what you want to do with your money, we also have a Taste of AMP experience, which is one of the prizes we're giving away today. And that is, you can bring your car out, you get an instructor riding right seat with you for half a day, and they basically take you through the facility. We've got a skid pad, we do some paddock exercises, and then they get you out on track and get you really comfortable driving your car on track. It's scary if you've never been on track.
Or to go that fast if you've never gone above 90 on the interstate.
Yeah. Well, most people, if you're in Atlanta, if you've been on 285, you'd be all right. But what's crazy is in Atlanta, and especially with our club, over 70% of all our new members have never been on a racetrack before.
Wow.
So it's actually very vital that you get that introductory time so that you can learn, you can get it under your belt. You get comfortable in your car on track, because it's totally different. Once you take the safety features off and you're just out there, ringing it like Mario Andretti.
What is the coolest car you've driven, and how fast have you gone? Top speed.
Ooh, that's The coolest, you might not.
It might not be the coolest.
My favorite car was a school bus.
No way.
I got to drive a school bus on track. That was
amazing. You didn't tip it over.
Dream come true. Yes. I mean, I think I hit 35 miles an hour.
Top speed.
Yes. The actually, what was crazy is the rear differential was barking. It was getting so hot it felt like a space heater sitting over the back, and that's because of all the tight turns we were making. The bus just wasn't meant to do that many tight turns that quickly.
Who gave you their school bus?
Just some random guy on the internet.
You said, "Hey, looking for a school bus to drive," and he said, "I got you."
He was the guy had bought the bus to do an RV camper conversion, and he had just started, so it was fully stripped out on the inside. He hadn't started anything yet, and this big yellow school bus, so we took it on track. But as far as fast cars that I've gotten to take out on track, Audi R8 was a pretty fun car. The McLaren GT. We had a guy, probably one of my best days at work. We had a guy back in 2020. I don't know if you know Magic Mike ATL.
Oh, yeah.
He showed up with 2 McLarens. He literally had his orange 720p, and then he had the brand new 2020 McLaren GT on a flatbed. And he just showed up to the track and said, "Hey, my camera guy is going to be here shortly. Do you mind taking this out? And I want to make a video." I said, "Okay, cool. Who's your camera guy?" And then as soon as I said that, I hear a helicopter.
Wow.
Land right next to us. He
There's
goes,
the camera guy.
Camera guy's here. So I got to drive that on track with Magic Mike while his guy was filming from the helicopter.
Too cool.
So
I bet you've got a lot of great stories.
Oh yeah, it's how much time you got?
Well, for those listening who are curious, how can they find you on the web? How can they get in touch with you to maybe explore the experience?
So the easiest way is just find us online at www.atlantamotorsportspark.com. You can also reach out to me directly, will@atlantamotorsportspark.com, if you want to email me. I'm one of the race directors up there. I do the main track race series. So if you're curious into what it takes to get into racing, we're trying to be as inclusive as we can. We're trying to break down those barriers because it is kind of a scary thing, and we offer programs for everybody. So whatever your level of experience is, we can get you in there, we can get you comfortable, and we can get you used to racing. And that's something I'm very passionate about because I love racing almost as much as I love cats and love being here. But the sport, one thing I've noticed over time is the sport is gradually just going away, and we're happy for things like the F1 show on Netflix because that's bringing a lot of popularity back. And especially with what we do up at Atlanta Motorsports Park, we're a road course. So having things like the F1 Drive to Survive show is really getting people more interested in road racing. And so as you're seeing a lot of local short tracks shut down, places like ours are thriving right now. And so it's a lot of fun to be a part of that.
I bet.
And especially to see all the kids getting involved because our go-kart track, it's insane the amount of kids that are out there racing right now.
Do they want to go fast, Ricky Bobby?
Oh, yeah, they go real fast.
Go real fast, Ricky Bobby. Well, I couldn't think of a better person to have on to kick us off, Will, than for you to just join us, especially because it's cat, cars, and cash that we're dealing with here at the 3rd annual CatRangers Charity Golf Tournament. And we're going to be interviewing a multitude of folks today, so you guys stick with us. Will, do you have any final thoughts for our audience?
If you like to go fast, keep it off the streets and keep it on the track. That's what we're here for, and that's a big part of our mission. We do teen schools. We do a lot of programs to just get you driving the way you want to drive in a safe, fun, friendly environment.
I like it. Thank you, Will, for joining us, and we will be back, folks. All right, and welcome back, friends, to the 3rd annual CatRangers Charity Golf Tournament being held here today at Lanier Islands Legacy Golf Course. It is a dreary, rainy day, but we are out here in good spirits to support the feline friends. I am joined now here with Vero Marchioni, who is the executive director of this fantastic organization. Year after year, she and CatRangers give back to the community, and they save so many feline lives. Welcome back, and congratulations on your 3rd annual, Sparrow.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for supporting us all 3 years.
Of course, it's our pleasure. We love partnering with you guys, and we love our feline friends as well. Tell everybody what's going on today.
Well, we've got hole-in-one prizes. We did all cash prizes this year, so it's $20,000, $2,000, $2,000 cash prize on the par 3s, and then we have, of course, the longest drive and closest to the pin, so that we still have some, even if they don't hit a hole-in-one, they've got, got something they can go for. Then we have some wonderful raffle prizes here, some of the things from the Atlanta Motorsports track to do a day at the track. And
exciting.
And, yeah, there's some pretty cool things. Their kart classes are pretty neat, too. I've been out there and seen how neat that track is. And it's It's membership only, but for the folks that are keeping their cars there, they actually provide a place for car enthusiasts to store their fancy cars near the track.
Oh, wow.
And then they can drive them on the track,
Neat.
as part of their membership. Yeah.
Do you have a fancy car that's stored there?
No.
You just get to go hang out with Will and the crew.
I just got one that runs, gets me to and from where I need to go.
That's what I have, my Honda Civic. Now, I'm over here, I see behind us on the table some spirits from Legends Distillery. So I am familiar with Legends as they're in Cumming, Georgia, and I've actually been to the distillery. Tell us about that partnership.
Well, Legends has also been with it. Well, they've been with us the last 2 years. They support us throughout the year. We did a tasting at our center. Mm-hmm. I think you guys, you had some participation with us there, too.
I remember seeing about it. I was unable to make it.
So it was like an evening bourbon and vodka tasting that we did with the cats.
Love it.
So everybody could hang out with the cats and check out their different libations. So that was a really cool thing.
Did the cats try any of the bourbon?
No.
You see sometimes when you set your coffee down, your curious kitty will walk right on over or whatever you have, and they'll try and paw at what's in your drink, or maybe they'll take a little lick. Mm-hmm. So that's very exciting. Now, I am very familiar with CatRangers, but just in case there's someone out there listening that doesn't know about the great work you guys are doing or about the home-like setting that they occupy in Beaufort, just give us a brief synopsis of CatRangers.
Okay. Well, we started out thinking we wanted to be a cat cafe, and it didn't seem like it made a lot of sense for the cats. You can't really set a coffee cup down and walk away from it because they'll knock it over. Yeah. So, we thought, well, maybe we should make it more of a cat place that also has coffee instead of the other way around. Yeah. So we found our first house 10 years ago now, the first place we were for 9 years, and we've always been in Beaufort. And the first house was designed also with a living space decorated just like a home. Mm-hmm. The new place is about twice the size of the old place, and we've got some land to do some things with now too. But when people come to the house, it's just like going to a home. It just has a lot of cats. Yeah. And they're all lounging in different places. Mm-hmm. And everyone visits can sit with them and get to know what they'd be like if they were in their own home. And
they get to just kind of relax in their own environment. That's such a sweet idea. Yeah. And I like how you kind of turned it upside down and you said, well, we're going to make this more conducive for the cats, because you're right. Mm-hmm. They are a little mischievous.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, you guys support, you mentioned that you rescue up to 600 cats, like on average, annually.
Annually, yeah.
And now I know you get calls from people who might find strays, and I know you can only take on so many. So what is the vetting process like for you guys to accept an animal?
Well, a lot of it depends on what our capacity is at the time when we're asked. We try to help people even if we can't take them, to refer them to some of the other rescues that we work with. Mm-hmm. Sometimes we accept kitties from other rescues even if there's a situation that warrants it. Mm-hmm. But when someone contacts us to help with a situation, generally the first thing they need to do is send in a owner surrender or a rescue surrender form through our website. That way we get all the details of what's going on. Unfortunately, we try to answer our phones, but there's too many to do that all the time. So if they send in that form, it'll come to me and 2 or 3 other people. Then we have to decide what makes the most sense, because all of our kitties are indoor kitties. Mm-hmm. So if somebody's got an outdoor cat they need help with, we have to get another rescue to help us with those.
Because they're outdoor. Yeah, you need to integrate.
Or if they need to be trapped, neutered, and returned, then we loan traps, but we don't actually do the trapping. So we have to work with other rescues to do that too, partner with other ones. But if they're indoor kitties, we think eventually they could be adoptable, and they're at a point where they don't have any other options, then we do our best to take them. We work a lot with owner surrenders. Mm-hmm. That's our preference, is to help the families that are having crisis.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because, people look at us as a cat rescue, but we help a lot of people too.
Yeah. You see it so many times. I've seen it on Facebook, a family that might be getting foreclosure or something like that, and they have pets, but they just can't take them in the transition. And they've been household friends, family friends for 8 years of their life, but there's just a little bit of a hiccup in the road.
Yeah.
That's very nice of you guys.
This year, I'd say so far we've had 2 situations where people lost their residence and were living in their car with their cats. And I mean, it's just, you know, the person is already wrecked, you know, emotionally. The cats are emotionally traumatized. And, you know, it takes a long time to recover from something like that. But the person has no chance if they're still in their car and worried about their cats.
Oh, gosh, yes. And right now we're kind of, it's cool on this day, but it is summertime, so I can only imagine.
Oh, yeah, no, that would be terrible.
In the summer, that would just be a hot box. Now, Sparrow, to kind of help mitigate this and find an overall solution, would you say that spaying and neutering is probably the best course of action? So for those of you listening, please, we encourage you to educate yourself and go find the resources to spay and neuter your animals, because it's really better for everybody in the long run.
Yeah. It's a challenge for people, I think, for a number of different reasons, and it depends on how far out you get from the city, the attitude towards spaying and neutering. But it also gets more difficult to find low-cost spay-neutering, because if they have to go to a vet, the vets will charge $200 or $300.
Oh, wow.
Which is not fair,
No,
and most people can't afford that.
Yeah,
you know, they're just not going to do it. And you know, you do have those who think that, you know, it's not a good thing to do when it really is. But
it's definitely,
you know, I mean, there are one of the reasons why people may know this, but there are a lot of transports that take kitties up north to the shelters and rescues up there, because they have a lot less animals. They have a lot less cats than we do.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
And that's partly because our weather is warm enough where a cat can actually have 3 litters if she's really aggressive.
Wow. And outside at that.
Outside.
And survive.
And because cats know when it's cold, they know they can't have babies. They won't survive. They don't mate during the cold weather.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So up north, you've got 2 things that contributes to that. You've got a lot stronger spay-neuter requirements. The state of Rhode Island, though it's small, it's mandatory.
Oh, okay.
For every pet
to be spayed
and neutered. Yeah. But you know, that's why there's less in the north than there is in the south. We're just inundated right now with kittens, and you know.
Well, thank goodness for you and for your team and organizations like yourself that are willing to kind of get out there and make a positive change. And for those of you listening who would like to become involved or contribute in any way, shape, or form, you can visit CatRangers.org so you can be a part of the solution. Now, I'm very excited because I just saw some golfers, but there's no way that they could be coming back in yet, right?
No, they're a little far from that.
Okay, so they were just kind of hanging out. Share with us a little bit more about the vendors who are participating. I see CAB Incorporated. We have American Painting and Renovations. Big shout out to Sid. He's a avid participant annually. Who else do we have out here supporting the cause today, Sparrow?
Well, the Tez Brio is a new one for this year. She's the lady that runs that company, is one of our donors and an avid cat lover. She cares for 2 feral colonies in Oakwood.
Holy smokes!
Every day she goes and feeds those cats.
To where they're at?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
We did a fundraiser for them last year to get houses for her feral cats. And we found this amazing lady who built these incredible feral houses.
Yeah.
They're like 6 feet long, and they can house 3 or 4 cats.
Wow.
And they're huge. And she built them and took them out there for this lady's feral colony.
Rescue, yeah.
Yeah. So they have a house now. They've got shelter and everything,
and they can cuddle up in there together.
Yeah, we did that right before. Remember last year we had that like 12-degree weather. It was insane. Well, cats can't survive that, so we did that and got the houses out there before that cold, so they had shelter for that.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, and the lady that built them was just really incredible. She drove a long distance, built those things from scratch, and they were great. But anyways, the lady who feeds those colonies is the lady that runs Tez Brio. And so she came and said, well, I'll sponsor this year. I don't golf, but I'll sponsor. So she did.
And that's a very good point. I am not a very good golfer myself, so anybody out there listening who's curious about this event, you do not have to golf to come and hang out and participate. You can participate by being a contributor, just come and hang out with us here, or you can help try and drum up sponsorships or volunteer your time.
Yeah.
So if you're not a golfer, there's still a place for you. Sparrow,
Absolutely.
do you have anything else you'd like to share with our listeners?
Well, I would like for them to know that as we are migrating from appointment only at our center, we're now opening at several days a week, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays in the afternoons, where people can visit without being adopters. If they just want to come and hang out with the cats, because it's very peaceful.
Yes.
And we used to do that a lot. Before COVID, we had around 400 visitors a month.
Oh, yeah.
And that was before we went to appointment only.
I can imagine if you recently had a death of an animal and you're not ready to get another cat yourself and you still just want to go and socialize, you can go sit. Or if you like to experience the love without the ownership aspect, that's another. Everybody likes to go and have a furry friend.
Or you have an allergic husband.
So you can just go waller in the cats. I love it. Sparrow, thank you for all the hard work you're doing so much.
Thank you.
And we're excited to be here again.
Yeah.
And we will be coming back to you once some of the golfers come out, and maybe we'll get a chance to talk to some of the vendors, and we just thank the skies above that they're opening up and we see some sunshine. Okay? And we'll be back with you soon. All right, and welcome back, folks, to the 3rd annual CatRangers Charity Golf Tournament held here at Lanier Islands Legacy Golf Course. I am your host, Amanda Pierce Marmolejo with Business RadioX, joined by my right-hand man, Dan Braverman. How are you, Dan?
Hey there, I'm doing good. How are you, Amanda?
Good. We just got done exploring the golf course, and might I say, because there were no directional arrows, we might have gotten lost.
We got lost a few times.
But thank goodness that the players had grace and they decided to point us in the right direction.
Yes, we met some nice golfers out there on the course. We were going the wrong direction probably many times, but we made it back somehow.
We made it back. Thank goodness for the GPS. So we are here, and it is midday, and there are a lot of golfers out there on the course. We started the day with some rain, but now I see some sun kind of budding through. Dan, tell us a little bit about what you've seen and about your experience today.
It's been great. Like you said, the sun's finally coming through. It was a little cold and rainy earlier. But we talked to Will Rigdon earlier and learned a lot about his Atlanta Motor Sports Park, which sounds really fun. I'm definitely going to have to get over there at some point. And of course, we talked to Sparrow. She's just wonderful. CatRangers just is such a great organization, and I just really admire what she's doing. And as a cat lover myself.
I know you're here. You and I we're contracted to work this tournament, but we're enthusiastic about our community and also about our feline friends. But you yourself are a cat daddy. Is that a word?
I am a cat daddy.
You're a cat daddy of 3.
Yeah,
so
of 3, yes.
Why you're so excited to participate on behalf of this organization today.
Yeah, as a cat daddy of 3, I love our feline friends. Like, I love all cats. Like, it would be so cool. I'm never going to own, like a jungle cat or anything, but I just think it's so cool that there's these gigantic, like lions and tigers, these gigantic cats that exactly, that just roam, that just like really run the jungle. And I just look at my little house cats and I'm like, if you were just bigger, you would just control everything. I don't know, I love cats a lot, and I don't know, what Sparrow's doing is great, because as a cat owner, like I've learned over the years, it's not cheap to own cats, for one, and there's a lot of people who just, and there's a lot of strays out there, and there's a lot of people that don't have the resources to care for their own cats, or like cats that they might find. And just what CatRangers does is just honorable, to just do whatever they can to make as many feline lives better as they possibly can.
I love their motto. It's so funny. They are the special forces of cat rescue.
Yeah.
cat ranger.
Yeah,
Meow.
I know. It's so cool. Like, I want to be a cat ranger.
You are a cat ranger. And today we are out here in support of the cat rangers. Please visit CatRangers.org so that you can find out how you can participate or contribute. We look forward to anybody that wants to be a positive proponent for this organization. This is the 3rd annual Cat Rangers Charity Golf Tournament, and I assume that with great success, we will be hosting one again next year. So those of you who are called to become involved or simply make a positive impact, we would love to be a part of that with you. We are broadcasting live today from the Lanier Islands Legacy Golf Course, and we look forward to capturing some of the golfers' experience when they come back in off the course if they're not too wet.
Yeah, we've seen a few of them around. Hopefully they'll be filtering back around here at some point soon.
We have some Legends Distillery spirits that are going to be given away. We want to say a big shout out and thank you to some of the sponsors for this annual tournament. CAB Incorporated is, since the conception of this nonprofit, they have been a large proponent and driving force. Also, American Painting and Renovations, we have Sid Theus, who is a large part of this as well. And I'm looking right here, Sparrow shared with us a new contributor, and I know I'm going to say it wrong, but it's Tez Brio. And that is a company. You can visit them at tezbrio.com, and they are helping us out this year, and we're very excited to have them on board. Dan, what else do you have to share with our listeners?
I just think that if you love cats or really animals in general, and you just care about the well-being of animals, you should get involved in stuff like this. And this is a great charity event. It was not, the weather wasn't great for today's event, but people still came out. People still are out here enjoying their time and supporting a good cause.
And you know what? We are set up out here all day, and we love talking to interesting people. So if you happen to find yourself on the course today, please stop by the Business RadioX tent. Dan and I would love to speak to you.
Absolutely.
We'll be doing live cut-ins all day. So until next time, we will be back. And welcome back, friends. We are here broadcasting live from the 3rd annual Cat Rangers Charity Golf Tournament. And we are at Lake Lanier's Island Legacy Golf Course. I am joined by Karen Toms, who is the facilities manager for Cat Rangers. How are you today, Karen?
I'm doing great. Thank you very much. Yes.
Welcome to the show. I see you're sitting here in this camouflage shirt that I admire so greatly. I purchased a few shirts for myself and loved ones today, and they weren't nearly as cool as the one that you have on.
No, these are special.
These are special, like the special forces of cat rescue that we are.
That's us.
So you and I were talking a little bit before the show, and you were showing me some fantastic photos of you and loved ones and feline friends. First of all, I'd like for you to share just a little bit about what you do with the organization and your enthusiasm behind the efforts.
Okay, well, I'm the shelter manager or the facility manager. I've been with Cat Rangers now for just over 7 years. I've been in cat rescue for about 14 years in the States. You might tell by my accent, I'm not a local, but I am from the south, but that's south of England. And I found Cat Rangers quite by accident, actually, me and a couple of friends, and they needed some help. They hadn't got any volunteers. They were kind of just starting off. Hadn't got any help, so we decided to join them because we are great cat fans. We love cats. We like dogs too, but cats have the special place. And we decided to join Sparrow, who you were talking to earlier. She's the director.
Lovely.
And help them out. And there's a great need for, well, not just cats, all animals. There's so many without homes. So many need help. There's so many cats on the street, and they're injured, and their plight's really sad. So that's kind of what we do, and we call ourselves the Special Forces of Cat Rescue. There are a few ex-military members in the organisation.
Therefore, the Special Forces.
That's where it comes in. So one of the founders is Special Forces. I am ex-Royal Air Force, British Royal Air Force.
Thank you for your service.
Yes, I did 15 years with them. And we have
Did you fly?
No, I was on the ground, but that's probably the safest. So there's quite a few ex-military people in the organisation, volunteers and everything. So we all kind of came together and decided to help the cats. Now, I think Sparrow said earlier that we rescue about 600 cats a
Annually,
year.
yes.
And find homes for roughly the same amount. And it's just never ending. Every year when we spay and neuter 600 cats, we think the next year
there'll be
less.
Right.
And the kitten season will be less because we've spayed and neutered 600 cats. But this year is crazy busy.
Mother Nature calls.
Mother Nature does call. And there are just so many cats there. I mean, we're just absolutely swamped. And we're quite small rescue compared with some of the big ones out there. You know, fur kids are really, really big.
Fur kids,
big rescue. But when you think
they're not defined specific for felines, they cascade across all.
Yeah.
So you guys are different in the sense that you hone in on
just
cats specifically.
Yes, and especially those ones are in greater need. I mean, all of them are in need one way or another. But we try and specialise with ones that need our help, or families can't afford their health care or whatever, or have to give them up for one reason or another. So that's kind of what we try and do.
I'm curious about your background, and Dan, my co-host, is here with us. And chime in, Dan, should you like. Karen, I'm curious because of your history and your background. So you mentioned that you not only have Air Force experience, but you're also from England, across the pond.
Yes.
So what was your inspiration or involvement prior to coming to the States and joining this organization? You're obviously an enthusiast and an advocate. So what were you doing solo prior to your involvement with this organization?
When I was very young, probably 8 years old, we used to live in Singapore. My dad was in the military, and I rescued my first cat at 8 years old, and there was this poor little bedraggled, wet thing laying in the bottom of a huge monsoon drain. And I was out with my mother, and before my mother said to me, "Karen, don't go down and touch that cat," I'd already gone down and brought the cat up. So that's what started the love of animals anyway. And then when I was in the Air Force serving around different parts of England, I actually used to go in my spare time and help out, and I was actually helped at the Oxfordshire Wildlife Sanctuary. And they did cats, dogs, goats, donkeys, hamsters, guinea pigs, hedgehogs, everything.
Anything.
So I used to go in my spare time and help down there. And that kind of, and I won't even say what year that was because that will show my age. But it was
inspired you.
Yes, it was a long time ago, and there was such a great need. And the people there were just wonderful in helping, just volunteer their time because nobody gets paid, to help the animals, and that's kind of what inspired. And when we moved from across the pond, due to my husband's work, I was looking for something to do, and I found the Georgia SPCA at the time, and they were located in Buford Highway in Swanee. So I went to volunteer there. And then, one thing led to another, started work there, and unfortunately they closed down. So that's when I found CatRangers. So lucky for CatRangers.
Dan is a cat dad himself.
Yes. I am a cat dad.
He can speak more to the ownership of felines in the protective state.
For sure. Karen, you showed me some pictures earlier of some cats that had been adopted through CatRangers. Can you just describe the feeling you get when you get a text message like that from when you see one of your cats that was in CatRangers that is now has a happy home?
Yeah, well, everyone starts crying normally, especially if it's a cat that's been with us a long time, because we are a no-kill shelter, so the cats stay with us for as long as it takes them to find a home. And we were just showing you pictures of one particular cat called Bear. And he'd had several applications, but because he'd had some medical issues, the people kind of withdrew their application because they didn't want to wait. They did choose another cat, but he kept coming back, and he recovered from some surgery, and then he was hanging around, and then nobody seemed to want him, and then all of a sudden in the last couple of days he's just gone home, and he went home with another cat from the shelter. And we asked the adopters to send us pictures of the cats because we put them together. And nearly, I'd say probably 9 times out of 10 when we get photos like that, there's somebody in the group that starts crying because they've had a special, relationship with the cat. And Bear was just a hunk of love.
So she's describing Bear, who is the orange cat, correct?
Big orange guy.
Is he just a tabby?
Yep, orange tabby.
Tabby?
Yep.
And she's depicting a young child who is the boy, maybe 4 years old?
Yeah, maybe
4
about
years
4.
old?
Yeah.
And the cat in the photos, because of the angle, looks far larger than
About the same size as the
himself.
boy, at
lion.
least.
But you can just see the joy and the camaraderie between that young boy and the feline. They are friends for life.
And it sounds like Bear is a survivor.
Yes.
Seems like he's been through a lot.
Yeah, it was found on the streets, not in very poor shape. We actually gave him, it's quite unusual, he'd had some acupuncture for part of his treatment recovery for some nerve issues.
Interesting.
Yeah, we've got a veterinarian who helps us, and does that.
Holistic
which is
medicine, that's
very
great.
interesting. It's very interesting because all that side of it's interesting as well, with the new techniques and stuff that's coming out to treat different ailments and everything like that. And so that's pretty unique, and that keeps it interesting. And the thing working in the animal rescue business, no day's ever the same. You never know what's going to walk through the door. And one cat who you think will never get a home, someone comes in, and it could be the most beat up, moth-eaten cat in the whole shelter, and somebody falls in love with it.
Lovely.
And you never know. People come in wanting a specific cat. They say, "I'm coming in. I want a long-haired, black and white tuxedo boy," and they go home with a orange short-haired girl, totally different.
Right.
So it's more about the personality of the cat than
matched with the human.
Matched with the human. That's what we try and do, because sometimes we get people come in and say, "I want this, I want that," and it's just not suitable for them. And that's and they've got small children, and this cat hates small children, or they've got a dog and the cat does. So again, that's a pretty unique thing to CatRangers with our adoption coordinators that we have. They spend time with the families trying to match the cat to the family.
Personality.
Yeah.
Wow, that's very
absolutely.
interesting.
Yeah.
And that kind of sets the relationship up for success.
Yes.
So that that there's longevity.
Yes.
What would you say, if you can say, I know there's been so many success stories, but one maybe recently that you can share that has been so moving or so monumental that stands out in your mind? And excuse all of our listeners that hear this reverberation. It's windy.
Everything's blown over.
And the CatRanger sign is going to hit Karen in the face here in just a second, but it's okay because we're here.
Ooh.
Share a success story, Karen.
There are many ones. We had a long-haired, a black and white male cat who'd was given up by his family because he needed quite expensive surgery. Had some stones in his bladder. And it was causing blockages, and he had to have several surgeries, and he had to be on special food and medication, and he was a sweetheart, and it was very difficult to adopt him out because the medicine was quite expensive. You have to be able to give the cat the medicine, and he needed to be on special food, which was quite expensive. And as soon as you mention to anybody that comes in, it's always on special food, they don't want to know.
Well, and it requires a lot of care from the human, a lot of time to spend and care for the animal.
Yeah, and then there was an elderly lady and a gentleman came in, and they didn't care about that. They just fell in love, and the cat kind of chose them. So that's just one scenario. We've adopted out cats with 3 legs who go to a special home. Cat with one eye, and there's just many. In the years, there's always, I would say probably every week we have a special moment with some adoptions, and then somebody comes in for one cat and ends up taking 2, and again that's just a special moment. It really is.
Can you speak to like some of the benefits of like adopting a cat in that situation, whether it's older, whether it's had some medical issues? For me, I feel the same way probably a lot of people do. If they're looking for a cat, they want to get a cat or any pet, they want, a young, a healthy pet. Can you speak
There's nothing wrong with a mature animal.
Exactly. Can you just speak to what's good, some of the benefits of getting, taking care of one of these cats who really need it?
Yeah, I mean, people come in with a mindset they want a young kitten, because kittens are crazy and playful and
super cute and little,
but their personalities haven't developed. So the benefits of adopting an older cat, their personalities are kind of set, and with the setup we have at CatRangers, it's a free roam facility, when people come in, they can see the cats more in their
natural habitat.
Yeah. So they know what they're going to get. The cats are not in little cages, so they kind of freak out when someone comes. But, it just depends. As I say, we fit the cat to the household. So if we don't think an older kitty who's got 3 legs, say, or 1 eye missing, is suitable for that family, even though they might come in and say, that's what I want, we don't want to set the cat up for failure. We want to make sure that we set up for success with every adoption. And sure, there are times when it doesn't work, for one thing or another. They forgot to tell us they have a giant dog or something,
It's no bueno.
Yeah, but,
For those of you just joining us, we're speaking with Karen Tom. She's the facility manager of CatRangers, and you can find out more about this organization if you would like to contribute or become involved at CatRangers.org. We are broadcasting live from the 3rd annual CatRangers Charity Golf Tournament. Whoop, whoop, the sun is shining. I'm joined here by Dan Braberman. Dan, as a father of cats and as a rescue dad yourself, what can you share with the world about the benefits of allowing a feline friend into your life?
They're just good creatures. I mean, I don't know how else to describe it. For one, they're not a lot of work. So if you feel the need to take care of something in your life, but you don't feel ready for a child or a dog or even like a plant, I feel like cats are less work than all of those things. They can take care of themselves for the most part. And, they, like a lot of pets, they give unconditional love. I have an older cat who I have to give her medicine all the time, and she doesn't like it. She hates it. But at the end of the day, she still loves me. So,
she knows and trusts you.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it's, I don't know. I think it's just very rewarding. Anyone who feels the desire to take care of something, but maybe they're
companionship
for that too. That's a good point. I have a cat that I've had since I was young, and she was just always there for me. And I wasn't the most social kid in high school. I wasn't like hanging out with friends a whole bunch, but I always got to come home to her. So that was, she was like my best friend all those years. So
your cat friend, I love that. Karen, if you could share one thing with our listeners about your enthusiasm behind the organization or a call to action, what would that be? How can people help? How can people get involved? What would you like to say to those listening?
Well, anybody listening who wants to get involved, everything from fundraising to coming to the shelter to help volunteer on a daily basis. We need people to clean and scoop poop.
Literally
Scoop poop. Also, you can help by becoming a foster. Especially at this time of the year, we are swamped with motherless babies and they need a foster. And all you need to be a foster is a spare room or a bathroom that you can keep the kiddies in. And then we look after them. You don't have to pay, no cost to you. We do all their medical.
Oh, the medical, wow.
Yeah, medical.
So it's literally housing.
It's just housing and love and getting them used to human interaction, and playing with them and stuff. So there's many ways. But if you go to CatRangers.org, there's all the information on there that you need and help with fundraising. We also have an Amazon wish list.
Great.
So anyone that loves to shop with Amazon, which I think most of us do.
All of us do.
Yeah, the wish list is on there. And it's because it's not just money we need.
No.
I mean, sure,
Items,
money's great.
yeah.
Items, food, everything, vinyl gloves and copy paper and cat toys and scoops and little things and cleaning materials and paper towel. I think we should have shares in the paper towel company because we would earn a lot of money.
Definitely. With Scott?
Yes.
Scott or Bounty, if you're listening. We're not sponsored, but we're looking for partners.
Yeah, we could...
Call us Bounty.
Call us Business RadioX.com.
Exactly.
Karen, and for those that would like to enjoy the home-like setting that you guys have and just experience the animals, they can find you at 289 West Shadburn Avenue?
That's the old
I
address.
apologize. What's the new address
It's
so people can find you?
1931 Schuyler Hill Drive in Beaufort. But again, go on CatRangers.org. Our opening hours are there. The address and all the information and appointments. People can just drop by generally, as long as it's with the times that are on the website. Yes.
Fantastic.
And we'd love to see them.
Karen, thank you so much for all of the hard work that you do, not only for the community, but for this specific organization. We've enjoyed participating with you for the past 3 years, and we look forward to the future. For Dan and for Karen, I am Amanda Marmolejo, and we are here live at the 3rd annual CatRangers Golf Tournament at Lanier Islands Golf Resort, and we will be back with you shortly. And welcome back, folks. We are broadcasting live from the 3rd annual CatRangers Golf Charity Tournament here at Lake Lanier Islands Legacy Course. And I am joined by Mike Freitas, and he works here for the course. And we are enjoying a beautiful time. The sun has just peaked out. We've got lots of golfers on the course. Mike, tell us about what's going on today.
Today we had a typical golf day. There was probably about 30 tournament players, which is part of your tournament, and then we had probably another 50 golfers just with regular tee times.
Outside
the tee times go out about every 10 minutes. So,
how do they integrate when you have just ordinary golfers versus a tournament? The pace of play, I know, is something that comes into. So how does that kind of work out as far as integrating the
the pro
groups?
has been doing this for years, so he knows how many tee times he can send out prior to as well as after the tournament starts. So it's usually 10 to 15 minutes per hole for each foursome.
Nice.
So he just figures it out that way.
Tell us a little bit about how long you've been with the club and about your enthusiasm behind working here at the course.
Oh, I started, I guess it was a year ago, November. So a year and a half I've been here. I retired from Children's Healthcare of Atlanta. I was an IT specialist. Got tired of commuting and trying to keep up with IT, so I retired. So,
and you enjoy golf, obviously.
And I enjoy golf,
And now you get to work on a beautiful course every day.
And golf was one of my bigger expenses in retirement, so now I can come here and work a few hours a day, 2 or 3 days a week, and play golf whenever a tee time is available. I can't make tee time, so I just come up when they have availability and play some golf.
So you mentioned working in IT with CHOA. What did that entail during your tenure
I
with
was
them?
a computer specialist, so my desktop services, anything that was on a desktop, I serviced. Computers, telephones.
All the electronics.
All the electronics.
And did you work in the Atlanta hub?
I worked in, at the Druid Hills location. I didn't work in the hospital. Mm-hmm. I was at the business center on Druid Hills Road where they're building the new hospital now.
Very nice. I know they have one located in Duluth. I don't know what the center is exactly, but I know there's a Children's Healthcare of Atlanta subsector here in Duluth. In your experience here at Lanier Islands Legacy Course, what has been one of the most rewarding things that you've been able to experience or that you've accomplished during your tenure?
Made a lot of good friends. I guess that would be the first highlight. I mean, the other starters and I are all about the same age and pretty much all here for the same reason. We love golf, and we get out there and play together as often as we can, and it's been great. I mean, I've really enjoyed their company and look forward to a couple more years of it.
You guys service a lot of organizations that host tournaments. We are here with a nonprofit organization, CatRangers. Talk a little bit about what you experience on the operations side when you execute tournaments of this magnitude.
It's a busy time. I mean, as far as what their charities involve, I really don't get into that too much. Conversations with people, but I'm familiar with some of the things that are going on out here, but I really don't get involved in what the charities are trying to accomplish.
If you were to guess, just on average, based on a monthly basis, because you see an entire turnover, how many tournaments would you say actualize on a monthly, quarterly, or annually basis that are community-driven or nonprofit-driven?
I would say from March till the end of June, beginning of July, it's probably 2 to 4 a week.
A week?
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's just, this is our busy season. And then the fall, it kicks off again in September through November. We'll do the same, 2, 3, 4 tournaments a week.
What would you say one of the greatest challenges that you surmount from a club perspective is when hosting organizations like this?
I'm probably not the right guy to ask.
You are the right guy, Mike.
Too. I mean,
You personally, I'm asking you personally, not the club.
Oh.
What do you experience that might be a challenge that you have to surmount when executing these tournaments
There's
regularly?
really no challenges to what I do. I mean,
You just love your job.
Really a pretty simple operation. I mean, there's nothing difficult about what I do, to be honest with you. I mean, some people can be challenging, just attitudes and stuff like that. But for the most part, people are out here to have fun, and they come happy because they're playing golf and not working, and
You're just living the life and getting paid for it.
Or they're
I
working
don't get paid
and
a lot
playing
of money.
golf.
Well, you get to golf for free,
Right, I get
so
to
there's
golf
that.
for free. That's my big perk.
Do you have any cats, Mike, or any animals?
I have a dog. Lucy is my golden retriever, and she's a special girl. She's about 6 years old, and we love her a lot.
I'm a dog mom too.
Yeah.
So we're supporting CatRangers, and for those of you listening who are interested in feline ownership or possibly fostering, please visit CatRangers.org. And you can absolutely find all the resources to get connected. Mike, I'd like to give you the opportunity to share with our listeners a parting thought or some final words of wisdom. It could be golf related or just simply the airs of your...
If you don't play golf, you should come and play some golf. If you don't like to play golf, it's a beautiful place. You can just enjoy the scenery. It really is a pretty place.
And ask for Mike.
And ask for Mike.
And if you're here with Dan and I, we might be going the wrong way on the cart path.
Yes.
But thankfully,
might still
people
be there.
show us grace when we're headed in the wrong direction. Mike, I want to thank you for joining us today. It's been a great experience with you guys here today at Legacy. And for everybody listening out there, please visit CatRangers.org so you can find out how you can contribute or become involved. For Dan, for Mike, I am Amanda Pierce-Marmolejo, and we will return shortly. And welcome back, folks. We are here at the 3rd annual CatRangers Charity Golf Tournament. I am your host, Amanda Pierce-Marmolejo, joined here on course by Richard Dreyer. How are you today, Richard?
I'm doing wonderful, thank you.
I'm so excited to see you. I do have to just share with our listeners the affiliation as you are related to, and I'll let you expound upon that, to Terry Jondal, who is the reason that we are here in addition to Sparrow, and we support this organization enthusiastically. So first and foremost, I'd like for you to share your cat daddy-isms, because I know you're the father of many cats. I've been to the CAB headquarters where you have created a mecca for the animals, and then also just share with us a little bit about your enthusiasm behind the cause.
Well, I'll start with the last part, my enthusiasm. Cats often get overlooked and left behind. And so for that reason, I think it's honorable for us to do whatever we can to help cats, old, young, whatever they are. If they're in need, we need to give them all the help we can. This started many years ago. We've had cats for as long as I can remember. And we met Sparrow with CatRangers and decided to assist and help her grow the organization. My wife was instrumental in helping do that, Terry Jondal. And she's created an organization that, as you know, I don't know the numbers, but there's many, many, many hundreds of cats.
You save 600 cats annually on average.
Yes, so it's a very noble cause. It's dear to our hearts.
We're going to talk about your experience on the course, but I just want to share with our listeners who might not know, CAB Incorporated, the headquarters is here in Buford, and there is a beautiful office space, but below there's kind of an untold mystery that you guys have created that houses and is a sanctuary for animals. Talk a little bit about that.
Well, it's we sold that office several years ago, the one you're referring to. But while we were there, we built a kittio, if you will. But it was rather large. It was probably 30 feet by 20 feet, to give you an idea. And there were close to 20 feral cats that they came about. A friend of ours said there's this feral cat colony that don't have a place to live anymore because they're living at an old dilapidated service station, and an elderly gentleman was feeding them, and they decided to bulldoze the service station and develop it. And so the cats had nowhere to live.
Go, yeah.
And so we, with Sparrow and Terry, decided to take them in, do the full vet, spay, neuter. And we had to put them somewhere. CatRangers facility wasn't large enough to take 20 cats at one time. And so I built this Kitty-O from Home Depot, just started building. And they had a blast. They had high places to perch. The whole thing was screened in with cat screen, which is a special screen you can buy that they can't rip.
Right.
And they lived there for 2 or 3 years until we moved them when we sold the building several years ago to we bought this shed, unfinished shed from like a Home Depot. It's like a 20 by 30 shed, and I equipped that with all the cat goodies inside, so they had a little cat space. And they're still living there. They have AC, heat, everything you could ask for.
Wow, that's exciting.
Cat condominium, I guess.
Literally.
And they can go outside in a caged-in area on the front and back, and they love it.
They have all the joys of being an indoor and an outdoor animal at the same time, with all the supervision and the love that they need.
Absolutely. Sparrow and all the people that volunteer for the CatRangers organization take very good care of them. And if you're ever out at CatRangers, it's on property behind the house that they're currently situated in. Just go in and see them and say hi.
Now, I have seen many photos, and I've zoomed Terry where she has her art studio, and the cats are in the background. So you guys have many felines that are not only a part of your mission, but also a part of your life.
We do.
How many kitties are you a dad to?
Currently, we have six in our house. And we also have a bird sanctuary in our backyard. We have so many birds. Of course, the cats don't go outside.
I was going to say,
that's what I was wondering.
How do they avoid the...
They sit in the window and they chirp and they pretend that they could catch the birds, and the birds just look at them like, really? You can't get through
that chance.
Yeah.
That's very exciting. Share a success story that you have encountered over the years throughout your mission with Terry and the organization.
All of our cats were adopted, so they were in need of a home. There's one in particular I'll tell you about. She was at CatRangers, and she had been run over by a vehicle, and her hip was totally busted. She had to have emergency surgery. Her tail was so damaged they had to amputate her tail.
Oh my goodness. And
she couldn't walk. She could barely get around. So she had the surgery. We took her in, adopted her, and we had to put almost like a diaper on the back of her because she would try to gnaw at the pain in her hip. And so today she's a beautiful, happy cat, and she has no tail.
She's a nub,
but she gets around just great, and she's one of our special six.
Richard, where did your love for cats come from? Is there a special cat, like maybe from childhood, that just holds a special place in your heart, or where did you develop this love for felines?
Well, I love all animals and nature and even insects. I mean, I love everything that's alive. And cats are just one of those things that
God's creatures.
God's creatures, yes. And so I try to honor everything that's alive. And cats in particular are special because they're easy to take care of in a house. You don't have to take them out and walk them. I love dogs also, but dogs are higher maintenance. Cats are pretty low maintenance. And so that's really, and Terry has always been a cat person. So when Terry and I got married in 2005, we naturally had cats at the time, and we've always had cats
ever since.
Yes.
For somebody that's listening that might be inspired to become involved or just be curious about fostering or becoming a part of, saving these lives, what would you suggest? What could you share?
Well, I think if you have any inkling that you would like to help at all, please give it a try. And I think you will be rewarded handsomely.
With eternal
your heart
love.
will feel really good.
Absolutely. Well, share with us a little bit about your experience on the course, because you've just come back, and I know that we are looking at an exciting table of Legends Distillery spirits, and I think you mentioned that you were like the winner.
Yes, I had
of
one
one
of
of
the
those
tickets.
bottles
There was
of
probably
bourbon.
12 or so that won, but yes, and so I've got
Exciting.
a brother-in-law that loves bourbon. I'm not a huge bourbon fan, but when he comes in town in June, I'm going to give it to him, and so he'll be very excited.
He'll love that. Well, Legends is the local distillery. They are located in Forsyth County, which is in Cumming, Georgia, so just right up the street. So I know that you guys will enjoy that local spirit.
Oh, absolutely.
Talk a little bit about your time on the course. I know that it kind of was rainy a little bit when you guys kicked off, and then how did you end thereafter?
It's beautiful weather. It's almost 65 degrees, almost 70, I think. And the course is a very fun course if you've never played it. And we played pretty well. It was a lot of fun.
What was your most challenging shot?
Challenging shot. Well, that would be about all of them.
I know I cannot hit it over the water to save my life. It's going in the drink. So
they're all challenging, some more so than others, but I can't recall just one that was more challenging than others. But it was a blast. We always have a blast doing this.
Well, thank you for joining us today, Richard.
My
and thank
pleasure.
Thank you for your support through all of your participation in this organization greatly. Please visit CatRangers.org so that you can contribute or participate. For Richard, our guest, I am Amanda, and for Dan, this is Business Radio X at the CatRangers 3rd Annual Golf Tournament.